Welcome to Getting to Know You, residents and staff at Stonebridge. We start that way every time, but today, welcome is going to be used in a number of different ways. We always hope that you will welcome us, and we also hope that you'll give us ideas for what you'd like to see or that we should see in programming this part of the residents organization. One of our welcomes today is about another part of the Residents Association, the Welcome Committee, which is a standing committee, and it reports to the Executive Committee of the Residents Association. And I'm so pleased that we'll be talking with Bev Glockler, the chair of the Welcome Committee. So Bev, I think we're going to be ready to talk to you.
Okay, I'm ready.
There you are. There you are. Nice to see you there. And as you heard in the introduction, you're an official part of the Resident Association, right? The Welcome Committee has been around for a long time, and you're the chair of it now. But there must be some kind of statement or mission statement that you have, in addition to all the good things you do, just because they make sense. So could you tell us a little bit about the committee and what and why it was set up by the Residents Association and what you do?
Well, I think it's nice to meet people, and the rest of the group thinks so. So we find out from the marketing people who the next people are coming in, and we assign them to one of either myself or one of my members, and we have them take a little packet that has information like from the library, the tech committee, the store, to tell them sort of about that, and we give them a little bag of goodies, some cookies and a nice muffin. And
I think the store even gives them a little gift or a discount or something like that, as I recall.
So and we visit them, and in good times we actually have them for meals,
right,
that they could be introduced in others. And in the background, we also put in to the one section of the halls, or so that people can know that they have a new person nearby, so that they could call them and say hello. And we try to keep on top of answering questions and showing them around. At the moment, that's a little bit iffy.
Right. I was going to say, all of that sounds a little challenging today, especially the part about having dinner. I think people really enjoy having an invitation early on in their visit, and that's sort of sad that we can't do that.
That's right. And most people that have come in since last March are waiting to be able to meet people and eat with them.
So I guess that's a good, at the end of the program, we're going to be listing all the people that came in that you've met with and welcomed. So we hope maybe their neighbors might be also joining in and invite them for dinner once we get set up. But I guess your committee will be doing that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing is, I think we all enjoy reading the View from the Bridge paragraphs about the new people. Is that something that you're responsible for too?
I am, and some people really want to have their own in, and that's fine. But I make up little bios for all of the rest, and some just simply don't. But we hope that if you read the view from the bridge that you will get to at least have a little bit of information
Right.
about, as well as they will have their picture up in the front
Right.
of the clubhouse so that you could see who they are.
Right. I remember when I was one of the people who asked where you and your husband Tony lived before you came here, and you told me it was just up the street. And I can imagine that people wondered when you came in if you really needed a welcome committee. But it's still nice to have a friendly face and really feel wanted, even though it's only your house was only a half a mile away or something like that.
Right, that's right. We could walk here.
And you told me that you had made lots of stops when you were volunteering for the emergency services here at, in Montgomery Township.
Yes.
So you knew it well.
Yes, I did.
But I don't think everybody else is. Is it okay to say that if there are people who are interested in being on the committee, that they should let you know that you may need a lot of volunteers if we ever are really open again.
That's right. I particularly would like to have a male or two that would be willing to do that.
Okay, guys, hear that? I'm sure that you can deliver cookies just as well as anybody. So we hope they'll join in. Bev, we had talked about that it might be interesting to, since these are different times with the quarantine and people not being able to get together the way we were, it's hard to be a newcomer. So consulting with you and others, we decided to invite two people who have had the benefit of your services and see how they were making their life here at Stonebridge when it really is quite different. So I think if Jock can transfer us, I'm going to take us to Jim Collins and hear about how he and his wife are faring as newcomers under these new conditions. Okay?
Yes.
Thanks, Bev.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate what you do, and we hope that you'll have lots more business someday. Thank you so much. And is Jim around? Hello, Jim. It's nice to see you.
Hi, Ingrid.
And I think you are not technically a resident that came in during the quarantine. You came in just before the quarantine. Is that right? You and your wife?
We moved here March 6th, and after 1 week, the lockdown started in some fashion.
Mhm.
But we did have a chance to, we were invited to the dining room with
good.
a few people for a few meals, and we got a taste of what it was like here at Stonebridge, and that was good.
So it wasn't a total change. I think you also came to the aerobics class when we were allowed to have 10 people with the chairs far apart.
That's right, and that's very good with Lorraine and we go to the gym with Jennifer, and my wife's involved in the French group.
Great.
And
That didn't let, oh, you did that by telephone then?
now it's by telephone.
Yeah.
It was earlier in the club room.
So you're right there on the cusp, that story of
Yes.
and having just enough a taste of the place before everything changed.
We could tell it was we were very glad we moved here, and we got a small glimpse of the promised land.
That's a good way of looking at it. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your wife, if you'd like to, and then is there anything that you've found that you're really enjoying doing at this strange time?
Well, my wife and I, we moved here from Pennsylvania, about an hour from here outside of Philly. My wife's originally from Helsinki, Finland, and I grew up in the Carolinas. And we worked together for a number of years in biochemical research, and most recently at Temple University.
Oh,
But our kids, we have a son and his family that live in Princeton, and they wanted to keep an eye on us to keep us out of trouble. And so we moved here, and we're very happy to be here.
good. Good.
Since coming here, as I said, we did some of the activities. I played cornhole a bit, and what I've really enjoyed is photography. Along with Jock, I do nature photography, and it's fantastic around here. I like to concentrate on one place,
Right.
local place, and go again and again, different weather, different light, so forth. And I've really, really enjoyed that.
So have you ever displayed any of your photographs
There's one on display upstairs
in the hall?
in the hall,
Yeah.
a winter scene, and I got a shot of an eagle this morning, just a perfect shot with taking off from a perch. So maybe put that one up somewhere.
Okay, good. Well, if the residents did a book, which I think when it was done was thinking it was going to be over, and here we are, I think, going into another third or fourth month since the book was done. So maybe if we ever do open, it would be fun to show things that people made while
Yes.
including photographs and so on that kept them busy. So that really might be an interesting way of looking at this. I think eagles are more prominent right now, aren't they?
Could be.
Or more numerous or something. I haven't heard about people seeing eagles at
This is the first one I've seen here.
Yeah.
But as far as getting to know people, we've met most of the people on the street. And I asked my wife what was the nicest thing about Stonebridge, and she said last week everybody on the street got together for David and Nancy Mulford's anniversary. We met outside their house, and that was a nice. You could see the spirit of Stonebridge.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know that it's still flourishing, or at least being nurtured in smaller places. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And technically, we'll just say we're welcoming you, since you came under those strange conditions that none of us were really used to. And
Yes.
We look forward to, what did you call it? Paradise?
Promised land.
Promised land. I knew it was with a P. All right. Thanks a lot. We're going to turn to somebody who came in here in the middle of the summer, Carol Besky, and see how she's doing. Okay. Thanks a lot. We're glad to get to know you.
Yeah.
Hello, Carol.
Hi, Ingrid. How are you?
Okay. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
And you were brave enough to come in what we thought might be the middle, but it was only a quarter of the way through.
Right.
And how did you happen to decide to make the move at that time? And
Well, actually, we had been kind of looking, trying to decide what our next move was going to be. And it just so happened that this cottage here on Ballantine became available, and it was like a no-brainer. We said, okay, great. We love the cottage. And it was like the super location with our waterfront property. It was the time to do it. So yeah, we moved in basically the end of June, and we quarantined for 2 weeks, and then we went on a family vacation that had been planned for 2 years, for another 2 weeks, and then we came back and quarantined for another 2 weeks. So it was like practically
just
September.
keeps going, right?
Yeah, so it was great. But in the meantime, during our quarantine here, I think some of you know I love to garden, and I just love flowers. And so I was outside a lot doing plantings and trying to make things look pretty in my backyard. And the neighbors were wonderful. I mean, people called, people stopped by, said hello. So I mean, I have to say, we felt more than welcome. It was wonderful. And then everybody was getting excited for the big regatta. So, that helped. And
I remember you saying you had no idea that you would have all that activity in your backyard.
yeah, which was really cool.
And the seats were like the box office.
Right, exactly. And so it was really terrific. And then shortly after that was when the bocce courts opened, and I will have to say thank goodness for bocce, because I have met most of the people I know here from the bocce court, and then cornhole, which is where I have
Lives on.
right. And then so it's just been, even though it's been, a tough time, I think, for a lot of people, I have to say we really, it's been terrific, and we've really gotten to meet some nice people. Finally, in November, we had our first venture into actually stepping foot into the dining room. So that lasted about a month, and then it was closed down again.
Yeah.
But, I just want to say to Bev, that she was on there, they were some of the first people over with her muffins, and we totally enjoyed that. So, no, and everybody is just terrific. It's been a great move, and, just fit right in and just continued with life.
Right. Well, I should say that I know Carol from long ago, from namely Mercer County kinds of things. Isn't that where we really got to know each other?
Yeah, I think so. Both of us were active with a lot of planning issues
Right.
in Mercer County, and especially with Trenton. And we worked on some really cool projects in Trenton that we all hoped would happen. But yeah, so I mean, Ingrid, I swear I've known you since the day I moved to. We've been here for 46 years in the Princeton area. We spent 23 years in West Windsor.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I first met you.
Yeah, I think we probably did in some way. But
Right.
you continue to have an active professional life, right? With
Right. I started an engineering
company.
Yeah, I started an engineering company about 30 years ago, and I still am working basically full time, if not more than that. So yeah, it's been great, because I think I chaired the Mercer County Park Commission for 16 years, and just a lot of in the area. So for us, it was an easy move, in that we literally, to move here, we moved about 4 miles, not just a lot farther than Bev did, but
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
and we've got two children and grandchildren that live in West Windsor. So, it's like, having lived in this area in Princeton for 23 years, it was not a big move.
Yeah. Just a footnote on the Trenton issue, because I don't know if many people know that Trenton started because it was the last place on the Delaware River where you could actually conduct commerce, where you had a real port, and that's how it got started. And so it was the last place in New Jersey people would go before they would cross over into Philadelphia, which is very much what still is happening.
Right.
And I guess it must be 25 years ago that actually you were on the technical team and I was on the planning body
Right.
that was making plans to take down Route 29, which prevented any access to the river in Trenton.
Yeah.
And that was always seen as something way out there, but it actually is something that's now being worked on, and there's $10 billion in the new U.S. transportation budget for taking down freeways that block communities.
Right.
And
it was so great working on it, because one of my projects I worked on was also the tunnel that's now, that exists on 20 and 29. From that, we moved into the Route 29 Boulevard,
right.
and that's where we worked so closely, and it was really bring the city back to the river.
Right.
As the city is just basically cut off from the river, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful river. And so I think both you and I are delighted to see that kind of money, and hopefully, it will be
right.
But yeah, it's
so if you know Mayor Pete, I think
Right.
it's starting up again. So anyway, we shouldn't be, but I think everybody here at Stonebridge is really interested in what's going on in the region. So I don't feel like that this is like inside baseball.
Right.
This is really something that would make everybody happy if it worked. You know, it's like going into New York so you can walk along the Hudson. You can now go to Trenton. You can walk along the Delaware if we're lucky. So thank you for joining us in this glimpse into what a newcomer does, and we're glad that you're here and looking forward to maybe no predictions about when, because we're never really right, but I think everybody is a little bit more optimistic now that we've gotten our vaccines, or half of us will get them on as we are doing this program on a Tuesday, on Thursday. So thanks a lot for joining us, Carol. And now, Jock, could you put all four of us on? Let's see if we can do this.
You're on.
Okay.
You're on.
Okay. Well, in the beginning, Jock posted the members of the committee, the welcome committee. So we're saying thank you to them. And now we're putting up the list of all the people that came in this strange time and have, we hope, gotten some feel for Stonebridge. And we who are here welcome you warmly, and maybe with having you listed again, if you would like, we could make sure that we stay in touch with you and that we all look forward to getting together when the time is right. So I think for today, we'll just say, all four of us, if you will, join in and say, welcome, neighbor.
Welcome, neighbor.
Welcome, neighbor. And thank you to our two newest neighbors, well, among the newest neighbors, Carol and Jim. And thank you, Bev, for making everything work so well before and during. And I'm sure you will be there for the other people who will be coming in when they say, oh, thank God this is open, we can move. So we're looking forward to that. So welcome, neighbor. And goodbye. And we look forward to seeing you again. Stay tuned and let us know what you'd like to see on Getting to Know You. I'm Ingrid Reed, and Jock McFarland, as you can tell, was running the Zoom business. And Jeff Teeter is the person who gives us guidance, and we consult with him as the president of the Residents Association. So good afternoon on what is now a really lovely sunny day, and go outside.